welcome to Advanced Lessons in Millennial Money, featuring Robert Kiyosaki. I'm Alexandra Gonzalez. In this episode, I got a chance to speak with Robert Kiyosaki and president of the Rich Dad company, Tchin Caniglia. Shane started his career as a drummer in a rock band from California and later turned into a successful entrepreneur. We started our conversation with the topic of technology and how it changed the world. Let's see what Robert had to say.
So what we're talking today about is this little thing here, okay? And I'm going to pick on you millennials for a little while because I keep hearing you guys saying, oh, there's no jobs, there's no money. You know, I'm going to tell you why that's kind of wimpy. Okay, is it okay if I use wimpy?
Yes.
Am I offending anybody out there? Because I've been called a wimp, you know, and all this stuff. So what? Okay, so first of all, I'm going to explain this here. In 1965, I left Hawaii, where I graduated from high school, and I went to school in New York. And I walked into this room on the campus on Long Island. There was a room bigger than this building for a computer. It was one of the first mainframes I'd never seen a mainframe. And that thing took up the whole bloody building. It had this huge mainframe, and it had these huge machines, those tapes that spun, and it just took up the whole room, took up a lot of power, a lot of space. You had to have all these guys operating it. So that was in 1965. And then in 1968, these two engineers who got tired of their jobs, their employees as engineers, and they decided to become business guys. So in 1968, these two engineers broke away, and they created a thing called the microchip. Mm-hmm. It basically took that whole bloody room and put it into a chip this big. And since then, that chip has gotten smaller.
And more powerful.
And more powerful. So that company today is called Intel, 1968. It changed the world. So in 65, I'm looking at this huge mainframe, these spare universe, and probably 30 guys taken to operate, little punch cards running and all. I had no idea what they were doing. But now you have more power in this than that whole bloody building with all those engineers and smart guys and all this stuff. You have more power than this at any other time in history. So every time I hear millennials bitching and griping and all this stuff, I say, look, just look at what you got in your hand, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You have the most powerful computer ever designed.
And have access to the world.
And
so
access
you got the power
to the world.
And the access.
So you wimps out there who are bitching and moaning and complaining, just wake up. You got more power than that whole room had in 1965.
Next, we discuss how most people go to school and become employees, and how moving from the E and S side to the B and I side of the cash flow quadrant is what Rich Dad teaches.
So this is the whole thing we're going to talk about today is this. Quit your bitching, okay? Now, why that happens is most people go to school to become employees. It stands for E, employee. Or they become specialists like social media guys. But where a Rich Dad is different is that this is what you go to school for, become doctors or lawyers or accountants or pizza shop owners. But this is the B and the I side. This is big business, and this is a professional investor. Not stocks, not mutual funds, not ETFs, not 401ks, not that stuff. Professional investor. So the problem with most millennials, they went to school and they came out here, right?
That's correct, yeah.
That's the problem. What Rich Dad does was shift you to think on this side. So the B and the I side, 500 employees or more, and professional investor, you want 401ks and stuff, that's on this side. But you have the power with this thing to go over here. So my whole message is this, and these are all from my Rich Dad. This is called the BI triangle, B and I. To be a big business owner and investor, there's 8 steps to it. Number 1, you have to have a mission statement for your company. Number 2, you got to have a team. Number 3, you have to have leadership. And now then you have product. Everybody says, oh, I got a great product. Well, product is the least important thing. Then you have to have legal. You have to patent all those contracts. Systems. A car, an automobile is a system of systems. A computer is a system of systems. The human body is a system of systems. That's why you have a good team. You have the communication. This is the most powerful communication device ever. But most people use it to text and complain.
Yeah, and check their social media
Yeah,
accounts.
I mean, grow up, you guys. And then here we have cash flow. You know, cash is either flowing in or flowing out. And this is leadership. So Shane is over here on the leadership side. He coordinates all these people with this thing. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Yep.
So you have the most powerful tool in history. And what Shane does inside the Rich Dad Company, he trains our staff to stop thinking like this, to start thinking like this. Is that correct?
Yep.
And everybody at Rich Dad is kind of required to have their own business or be professional investors.
Yep.
Yep.
We promote it. We
Right.
we encourage it.
One of the most important things we do differently here at Rich Dad is the employees have the ability to create their own businesses, make mistakes, and try new things. Let's listen to Shane and Robert discuss this.
So why I wanted Shane here, he's going to explain what you teach the staff at Rich Dad, how to turn this into that, right?
Right.
So any other questions?
Well, like you said, you previously mentioned, is that I would say that the traditional school system teaches us to be wimps and teaches us to practice on the E and the I and the S side, right?
Yeah, get a job, paycheck.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
And so we're not taught how to use this
Yes.
technology on our advantage on the B and the I side.
Right.
And that is what we're trained to do. We're trained to just post pictures, share our personal lives, and not
bitch.
use it to generate any value to our life. And so
And the funny thing about that is you're sharing pictures. And what else did you say you do on it? You
just
tag
share
them?
your personal
So
life.
if you share your personal life, you're sharing that with a business, and they're making money off of you, and they're
Collecting all that data.
they're collecting all that data, and they're doing it all based on a mobile application, a mobile device, whether it's even a mobile website. Doesn't matter how you're logging in, but it's all done through that device.
This. So Shane, would you mind telling the group here how you take the company to think like this, not like this? I mean, not like the employee mentioned.
Right. Yeah, we do. We preach that every day. But basically, if I can go back to when I talked at the beginning when I introduced myself, is when I came into Rich Dad was primarily a physical business. It had books, it had the physical board games, we have the physical live events where we would invite people in, and those things are still great and we still produce them and you still need them. However, we needed to transition the business into the digital space, and not just with products, but also our social media accounts, our online advertising, our promotions, our marketing, and even get out of the print side of the world. So over the years, our staff, we bring in experts. Some of them are excellent developers, they're graphic artists, they're social media experts. And we don't just teach them, we allow them to use these tools, to become familiar with them, and also make mistakes and learn how they work and how to take those tools and use them to our advantage, to make not only the brand stronger, but also our communication more clear, which is very important to us when it comes to the Rich Dad brand. And most importantly, understand you're talking to the whole world. So we really focus on the staff staying up to date on the most recent tools, to test them, to try them, to learn them, to make mistakes. It's okay if you make mistakes here and you fail, because that's how you learn. And technology moves so fast. What you learn yesterday could be obsolete tomorrow. Just depends on what the new next and greatest thing is.
But the other thing that I think, because I know nothing about this, I barely know how to turn it on, but I'm just part of the team here.
Right.
And what Shane has done with his leadership, he formed the team. But this is the part that amazes me the most: money. Cash can flow in at such higher rates of speed, as you guys know with this.
Yep.
But it does take a BI triangle, the 8 units, to have the cash pour in. So that's what you're teaching everybody, how to get the cash flow to come. This is called the bottom line. It drops.
Yes.
This is top line. This is bottom line here.
Next, we talk about how entrepreneurs can leverage technology to create cash flow. Listen to what Shane has to say.
How do you teach them how to think, like to bring money in?
Well, you leverage opportunities. So the first thing you talk about there is, with the cell phone, for example, you have access to the whole world via your social media accounts, in particular the social media accounts, especially like the Facebook, Instagrams of the world. So the ability to, and Twitter, but to be able to communicate at that level, but also because you have access to the whole world, you can sell your products all over the world. And you
Amazing.
can do it.
It's stunning.
Yeah, it's never, there's not anything like this in history that's ever been done before. And Rich Dad being a worldwide brand, to be able to leverage all that is unprecedented in really our history. And I don't think we've even begun to tap the surface of what these opportunities will be going forward. But again, I just want to repeat myself. The big thing we do is leverage technology to push our brand, to push our products, to push our message out there, all with a much smaller and tighter staff, not even half of what we used to have.
Right.
And we definitely accomplish a lot more with a lot less here now.
Alex?
Speaking from personal experience here at the Rich Dad Company, when I first started, I wasn't even allowed to work. I mean, they literally told me, you need to learn everything. And so I took courses on how we can use social media and technology to generate money and to also share our mission with the world. So I think that's actually very valuable, and it's very critical for the company, because that's how you grow and that's how you expand to new audiences.
Right. But when
you expanded.
Yeah.
The important thing is she expands, so she becomes an integral part of the team on the BI triangle.
Yeah. Social media is communications.
Yes.
But that doesn't necessarily drop to the bottom line here.
No.
And that's really what so Alex, you're part of a team here, right?
Yeah.
You have to do a little of everything?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I never know what's going to be thrown on me on a day-to-day basis.
There's no such thing, this is not my job, right?
No.
No, those words make me crazy.
Those do not exist here.
Yeah.
From automated McDonald's kiosks to ATM machines for cupcakes, technology seems to be taking over many industries. Shane makes a point about how a shift in our mindset can make finding a job today just like it was before these technologies existed.
One thing I want to bring up, a little side note, you've been talking a lot about the McDonald's business model, and you talk about the real estate, and then we were briefly discussing them bringing in automation in terms of the ordering process.
Right.
And all you hear about in the media and on the news is how that eliminates jobs. And it's interesting because I take a different twist on it and say, well, what about all the jobs that's creating with software engineers, developers, programmers, graphic artists, customer support, tech support? Technology creates other jobs. You just now have to follow that path
you have to get
of those
retrained.
job opportunities.
Yeah.
You got to be trained for them. So to say there's no jobs makes no sense. They're just shifting into a different sector, a different industry.
There are two things that school doesn't encourage: making mistakes and cooperation. Robert explains how this keeps you from growing. Here's what he had to say.
The other thing that Shane said that is crucial to all this, there's two things that school really screws you up on. Number one, schools do is they punish you for making mistakes. Are people punished for making mistakes here?
No, it's encouraged. We want you to.
And then as long as you learn from them.
Yep, fail hard, fail fast, learn and move on.
What happens if you made a mistake and you didn't tell everybody?
If I don't tell anybody, well, then that doesn't let the team grow from my own mistake.
Now, what happens if you cover it up?
Then I'm punished if I cover it
Yeah,
up.
you probably get fired for that.
Yeah.
You see, the worst thing that happens in an organization like this is when you make a mistake, you cover it up. That's the worst thing.
Yeah.
But that's what they teach you in school. The second thing is cooperation. Everybody has to cooperate here. It's like when you were working at the bank, you were like this little person right here, sitting at your desk. People would come in, put the money. That's it, right? Did you learn much?
Nothing.
No.
And I think that's why it's very important. It's okay if you're on the E and the S side, but I just think it's important to find, for example, if you're an E, to find an employer that's willing to let you grow, just like I did. And if you're stuck in a cycle where they're not letting you grow and they're not letting you learn from the opportunities around you, then leave and find somewhere where you can, and you can learn how to run a company.
And last, we discuss how the speed of today's technology allows entrepreneurs to reach their customers and modify their messaging based on feedback. Let's listen.
I worked for Xerox as a little sales guy, and then I went in to learn how to sell and market to, raise capital and all this. So this is where I come from. It was so slow. Like if we ran an ad in a magazine, like I used to do a lot of ads in Runner's World magazine. This is in the 70s. To run an ad, I had to hire a photographer, we'd shoot the picture, then we'd take it to a color separator. They would separate it to 4 different colors, and then we'd go to the printer, they would print it, and if it was wrong, we'd go back and shoot again.
Yeah.
it would take 6 months to run an ad. And if it didn't work, it was 6 more months. How fast are you correcting today?
Oh, within seconds. You can fix that stuff within seconds. You could actually have something live and see something wrong with it, pull it, and fix it within seconds now.
So you're getting the feedback right away, aren't you?
Yep.
And so you guys out there, this is priceless.
Yep.
But our trouble is our schools are teaching everybody to be on this side, and if you're going to be a real entrepreneur, it really makes the transition to over to this side. And the message is, this little baby here gives you the power to run this. You could run this whole company off of this, couldn't you?
Yep, we do. Yeah. We do.
So that's it for this episode of Advanced Lessons in Millennial Money. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and comment below. Que tengan buen día. Ciao. From automated McDonald's kiosks to ATM machines for cupcakes. There are 2 things that school doesn't encourage. Oh my God, do you hear that? I'm sorry.